Hello, welcome to the Quakes Motel. My name's Conan, I'm the concierge. Today I'm going to show you how I use Ableton in my sample workflow. Let's jump in. Okay, so this is not going to be an in-depth tutorial on how to use Ableton or anything like that. I just want to show you how and why I use it in my sample workflow. Sometimes, no matter what I do, and I would say I'm pretty decent at chopping samples and all the little workarounds to get things to sit right, get them to sound buttery smooth. But sometimes, no matter what I do, it just won't work. And I really want to use this sample. I don't want to chuck it away. So Ableton to the rescue. And this is how I use it. I will record the sample into Ableton, normally from my MPC, because I've already been trying to chop it up in my MPC. I've got a 2-bar loop here in Ableton that I recorded earlier. Now, no matter what I did, this just wouldn't sit right. There's reverb on the drums, there's sustain on the steel drums. So when I was chopping, it sounded choppy. And this particular sample, I didn't want it to sound choppy. I wanted it to sound smooth. But I needed it to sit on the grid because of the beat that I'm using and some of the other samples I'm layering. And it was just drifting too much. So you can see straight away in this 2-bar loop, down the bottom here where you do your warping, the snare is late on 2, the snare is late on 4. But at the start of bar 2, is actually early, and then going through this as well, things are slightly earlier and later, etc. So the way that I warp in Ableton is I tend to do things in half, so I chop in half, if you see what I mean. So I've got 2-bar here, so the first thing I would do is manipulate the middle, which is the start of bar 2. And as I said, that's a bit early. These markers are normally pretty cool, they're pretty much on, but this one's slightly off for me. I'm going to go here, and I'll just drag that to the start of bar 2. Have a quick listen, see if there's any artifacts, because sometimes it will introduce artifacts and you have to just reset the marker and shift it a little bit to the right or left, and then you can get rid of it. So I will say that actually, whilst the algorithm in Ableton for me is one of the best, you will still sometimes get artifacts if you're dragging things. It doesn't even have to be over a big distance. Sometimes it will just introduce an artifact. Delete the marker, put the marker like 1 click to the right or 1 click to the left, and it'll be fine. So sometimes it takes a little bit of fiddling, but not as much fiddling around as it does on the MPC. So let's have a quick listen. That sounds fine. So the next thing I'll do is I'll now work in each bar one by one. So as I said, the snares were a bit late, and they're even later now because I've had to drag slightly to the right to make bar 2 sit in the right place. So that looks pretty spot on, actually, and I'm going to go with Ableton on that. Well done, Ableton. Let's see, number 4. For the sake of quickness, I'll stick with Ableton on that one as well. Yeah, no problem there whatsoever. This one, this looks a little bit off. Looks like there's a hi-hat and a snare there, so I'm going to split the difference. Go here, drag that to 2. And 3. That looks about right. Just to say, because of the way this drum beat is, on the first bar, there isn't really anything on bar 3 because you've got these going on around, if you listen to the beat. So it's kind of just a hi-hat. So it looks like it's around about there. So it's a little bit more of a challenge. No artifacts, that sounds fine. And then it's the same with 4 here. It's a little bit off. And you don't have anything to really hone in on. Oh, I think around about there. Ableton was pretty spot on, but it's not quite. Now, to me, that sounds no different whatsoever. There's no artifacts, it's very subtle, but I know now when I record this back into my MPC, it's going to be dead on. And I've just very, very slightly time stretched little parts of the sample, which is not impossible in the MPC, but it's a pain in the arse, and the results are very, very mixed. Whereas this, if I wasn't talking and I just literally did it, it would take me a minute to do it. And that's the whole point. It's a problem solver, and I want things to be quicker and easier. So at this point, I'd be quite happy to record this back into my MPC. However, there is another great thing about using doing this kind of work, doing prep work in a DAW. You can add plugins. And if you watch my previous videos on my sample workflow, you'll know that I have a vision, and I quite often like to imprint something on the sound before it even goes into my MPC. So in this case, just for the sake of it, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm quite happy with the way the sample sounds. But let's just say I chucked a DVX 160 on it. So that's imprinted a nice DVX 160 sound on it, quite sort of pumpy, breathy. It's kind of giving everything a bit of glue. I love the 160. Obviously, I've overdone it there just so that you can hear it. But now I could record that into my MPC with compression already on it, and it's sounding nice and glued. If you really push the 160, you can start getting the kind of SP303 vinyl sim sound. Not exactly the same, but close. Then maybe, for the sake of argument, I might want to whack a bit of tape saturation on it. We use the Studer. Let's take that back to 7.5. Let's make it real lo-fi. Just push it a little bit, just back it off for gain matching. So I've added a nice bit of tape saturation and a nice bit of compression. So there you have it. As I said, not an in-depth video on how to use Ableton, but I just wanted to show you how I use it in my workflow. I still, sample in quite an old school way, but I like things to be quick and easy. I don't like headaches, and sometimes I'm working to a deadline, or I really want to get something done, or like I said, I've got a sample that it just won't chop properly no matter what I do. So things like Ableton, in this example, are perfect for that, because it just makes things quicker and easier. And, it's taking my kind of, I guess, old school way of working, but embracing modern technology and using it, to make things easier and quicker. So it might not be the typical way that people use Ableton, just to take one bar and warp it slightly and then record it back into their MPC, but it works for me, and I hope it's inspired some other people who might want to use it the same way. It doesn't have to be Ableton. Pretty much all DAWs now have some kind of algorithm. Most of them have pretty similar algorithms, actually. I've just demonstrated with Ableton because I've been using it for such a long time. And for me personally, it's the best sounding one, and it's the quickest and easiest one to use. So that's why I tend to use it. But like I said, it doesn't have to be Ableton. So thanks for watching. This is The Crates My Tail. My name's Conan. I'm the concierge. Until next time.
Concierge.